at this gathering and to be asked to offer the closing prayer and a call to action. And surprise, surprise, where would King be standing inspires me also to share a few choice quotes of Martin Luther King, who was so prophetic, and that's why we keep bringing him up, even though there are other inspiring voices today from communities of color and from movements all over the world. I do a couple of announcements. Remind people, if you are going to risk arrest, to sign up over here so that people are kept track of. And another thing about the Tuesday readings of Martin Luther King at the Oakland Federal Building, there will be 3 read-throughs at noon, at 2, and 4 o'clock. So there are 3 opportunities. Talk to Jackie Cabasso, who's holding up flyers over here, for more information about that. And in terms of a call to action, pointing out that this year the People's Life Fund, Northern California, War Tax Redirection Fund, is giving away more money than ever before. This Saturday they're going to be granting over $30,000 this year. It keeps going up as people redirect their taxes away from war. So wanting to point that out too. So where would King be standing? Who would Jesus bomb? These are such rhetorical questions, right? I'm Dr. Martin Luther King. Well, I'm going to read as part of the call to action how he wanted his eulogy to be, and he actually put aside those honorifics. So yes, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Point taken. I've been re-inspired by a later speech in the last year that even talks a little less about Vietnam and more about the triple evils that we are contending with today. And he spoke at the National Conference on New Politics on August 31st, 1967, and I think his introduction there, he would say this to us today: we have come because our eyes have seen through the superficial glory and glitter of our society and observed the coming of judgment. Like the prophet of old, we have read the handwriting on the wall. We have seen our nation weighed in the balance of history and found wanting. We have come because we see this as a dark hour in the affairs of men, humanity. Also, from this amazing speech, it seems that our legislative assemblies have adopted Nero as their patron saint and are bent on fiddling while our cities burn. What they truly advocate is socialism for the rich and capitalism for the poor. There has never been a solid, unified, and determined thrust to make justice a reality for Afro-Americans. The step backwards has a new name today. It is called the white backlash. But the white backlash is nothing new. It is the surfacing of old prejudices, hostilities, and ambivalences that have always been there. It was caused neither by the cry of Black Power nor by the unfortunate recent wave of riots in our cities. The white backlash of today is rooted in the same problem that has characterized America ever since the black man landed in chains on the shores of this nation. And of course, it shouldn't be just black man mentioned there also, but that's what he said. And the time has come for America to face the inevitable choice between materialism and humanism. We must devote at least as much to our children's education and the health of the poor as we do to the care of our automobiles and the building of beautiful, impressive hotels. Did he know who we were dealing with today, or what? For a call to action, for spiritual political gatherings such as this that ask, where would Martin Luther King Jr. be standing? I can think of no more inspiring words than what he said himself when he put forth his own eulogy as part of his sermon, The Drum Major Instinct, 2 months before he was shot down and taken away from our movement. I find it a call to action because it was aspirational. It was how he wanted to be remembered, and I think probably how we all might choose to be remembered. If this is a radical revolution of values, this is a call to action. I'd like somebody to mention that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to give his life serving others. I'd like for somebody to say that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to love somebody. I want you to say that day that I tried to be right on the war question. I want you to be able to say that day that I did try to feed the hungry. And I want you to be able to say that day that I did try in my life to clothe those who were naked. I want you to say on that day that I did try in my life to visit those who were in prison. I want you to say that I tried to love and serve humanity. Yes, if you want to say that I was a drum major, say that I was a drum major for justice. Say that I was a drum major for peace. I was a drum major for righteousness. And all the shallow things will not matter. I won't have any money to leave behind. I won't have the fine and luxurious things of life to leave behind. But I just want to leave a committed life behind. And that's all I want to say. Oh, say shalom bimromav. Huya say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol ha'olam. Ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu v'akol ha'olam. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu v'akol ha'olam. May the one who makes peace in the heavens grant peace to us and to all humanity. And finally, just a 10-second exercise I want to invite people to join me in. I'm a laughter yoga leader, and I've learned many coping mechanisms, and one I want to share that's been very helpful now for me and might be a good embarkation movement. If you want to stand, that's great. It's called Cry Down, Laugh Up. I'll demonstrate it once, and then we'll do it twice. You'll get the idea. Go as far as you're comfortable, no new pains, and it looks like this. Feels good. I invite you to join me in that now a couple times. Thank you. The world is truly a beautiful place.